This is going to be a quick video about how to get a lot of hot water for the shower in the RV while it's parked by the house. So my situation here is that I have this beautiful camper for about a year now. We did take it out for a few camping trips, a few days here, a few days there, but really 99% of the time it's just parked here by the back of the house. That's a camper right here, and that's my house right here. So we don't use it a lot for camping, but we are using it for guests. So we did have some family members come here and staying for extended period of time, a few weeks or a month at a time. And while they're here, they're using the shower. And the problem with the RV, it only has a 6-gallon hot water tank. And that 6-gallon tank, at least in this camper, is by propane only. So this is the tank, it's a standard RV tank, 6-gallon. So you gotta take really quick shower, what we call military showers. It also, in this camper, is only by propane. So if I have people staying here for a month, I have to run the propane non-stop for a month, so they can have hot water whenever they want to take a shower or use hot water in the sink. So since my house is right here, and actually my hot water tank is right here, I figured why not just connect a hose from this great water tank, which is 80 gallons, directly to the RV, so I can enjoy hot water in the RV just like we do in the shower in the house. So I did what I always do when I want to do a new project. I go to YouTube and I try to see how other people do it, and I really learn everything I know how to do from YouTube. But I couldn't find anyone who did that specific thing, connecting a house water heater to an RV. There was just nobody I found that was able to do that or try to do it and was showing me how to do it. So I had to do a lot of thinking, and here I want to put a disclaimer. I'm not a plumber by any means, so everything I did here is by trial and error. And if you guys want to copy what I did, it's at your own risk. I'm not a professional that can officially teach you how to do anything that when it comes to plumbing. So in theory, this is a really simple thing, right? I mean, you run a hose from the water heater to the RV, you connect everything up, and you should have hot water in the RV coming from the house. But in reality, it is a little bit more complicated, and there were a few snags I hit, which took some creative thinking and about 5 or 6 trips to Home Depot to get everything going. So I'm going to show you those things, and hopefully you won't have those problems when you do it yourself. Alright, so I'm here in the garage. This is the water heater. It's 80 gallons, and it has plenty of hot water for take very nice long showers. So the easiest place to connect to it was right here in the washing machine connections. So this is the cold water inlet for the washing machine, and this is the hot water. So all I had to do really is put a splitter right here. So this black line here goes to the washing machine, and then to the RV I connected here on the other side of the splitter, and I use a PEX hose. This is 1/2 inch PEX, which I ran all the way from here to the RV. Now that looks like a simple connection here, but it's really, that was one of the biggest snags I hit. And again, I'm not a plumber, so that wasn't known to me, that there is a difference between connections when it comes to plumbing connections and what's called garden hose connections. So to connect the PEX line, I used Sharkbite, which is excellent thing. You connect it and you got no leaks or anything. But then when I tried to connect the Sharkbite into the splitter here, they did not connect. Now this size is 3/4 of a quarter, and this connection right here is 3/4 of a quarter. And even though they look the same, but they almost fit when you try to screw them in, they're not going to go in all the way, and you're going to have a leak no matter what you try to do. So you need to get an adapter, and this took me a few days to figure out, and many trips back to Home Depot to figure it out. So I had to buy this adapter right here, which is consisted of those two pieces. This piece right here and this piece right here. This is the same adapter. So this is basically connecting between garden hose fittings and plumbing fittings. So even though this is 3/4 of an inch and this is 3/4 of an inch, they're not the same threads. So you need to get this kind of adapter to connect between plumbing fittings and garden hose fittings. And if you go to Home Depot, you talk to the people there, they'll be able to find it for you. So once I put that connector in here, I had no more leaks and I was able to run it off. Before that, this was leaking like crazy and there was no way to use it. Now from here, once I got this connection figured out, then I got the PEX line going, and that's going all the way to the RV. Now, I drilled a hole right here in the side of the house, and then I just run the PEX all the way through the wall, all the way around until I get to the RV. So my blue PEX, as you can see, it's running here. I use some 90 degrees fitting whenever I had to do a turn. And this is again Sharkbite. This Sharkbite thing is fantastic. You know, you just connect it, it's super easy, it doesn't leak. And then I just went all the way through until I was able to get to the RV around here. Now, I use blue PEX. I know hot water is usually done with red PEX line. And again, this is a 1/2 inch PEX. The only reason I didn't go with red is because I didn't want a red hose running through my garden here and showing up, like sticking out. So I decided to use blue. As far as I know, the blue PEX and the red PEX are exactly the same, except of the color, so it doesn't really matter if you're using red PEX or blue PEX. So I just use that, so it kind of blends more with the garden, much more than a red hose would. So now when I got the hose to the RV, I had to ask myself, how do I actually plug into the RV? Which plumbing fitting am I going to go into? So my initial thought was to go through the hot water tank. So this is the hot water tank again, and right here on the bottom there is the plug where you can actually screw this out, and you have a thread connection into the tank. So I was thinking just to connect it through here and then run the hot water PEX into here. But I decided not to go that route. Now here in the front of the camper, I have this outdoor shower right here. So I was thinking to go behind it. There's some PEX line right here behind it. So I was thinking just to come from here and then connect to one of those PEX lines. And that was really my main idea on how to do it. Just cut into one of those lines, put a connector, and go from there. But then I realized under the RV we have the low point drain out. So there's a drain out right here. The blue line, that's for the cold water drain out, and then the red one, that's for the hot water. So I figured, why not just plug into that? This is under the RV. It's going to be easy to connect and disconnect. So I figured I'm just going to plug into the low drain point. So as you can see, the PEX slide is coming from there. I'm using that blue PEX. It's coming from all the way from the house, around the fence. And then I just connected it here into the low point drain of the hot water system. So I'm using again the Sharkbite fitting from 1/2 inch to 1/2 inch with a thread. And all I had to do is unscrew the plug. This is the same plug right here. That was the plug that was on the hot water line. So I unscrewed the plug and then I just connected the PEX in here. And thanks to this Sharkbite thing, I mean, those things are like magic. There's no leaks or anything. And that's how I'm connected into the hot water. Now, once I got that connected, I realized, okay, there is another catch. All right, so the catch is that in the RV, the hot water system and the cold water system, they're really connected to each other. So unless you somehow separate between the two systems, you're going to have hot water running in your cold line with the setup that I did. So this is the water tank, the hot water tank, which is under the bed in this specific RV. And you have some valves in there on the red line and the blue line. So if you shut them off, that's what I was initially thinking, I'm going to be able to separate the two systems, but really the only thing you're separating is the water tank. So the water tank is going to be out of the system, but the hot and cold water lines are still going to be connected. So I'm going to have hot water running through the cold lines and vice versa. So what I had to do is install another valve, and I'm talking about this one right here. Now this is another shark tank valve, Sharkbite valve, which I connected on the red line. So right now, as you can see, it's closed. So water coming through the hot lines can't go through the cold lines, and water coming from the cold lines can't go into the hot lines. So with this valve, the two systems are totally separated. If I open the valve, I'm basically connecting them, so now both systems are connected. I'm closing it, and they are separated again. So now I got a perfect solution. When I got cold water open in the faucet or the shower, I'm getting cold water because I'm also connected with the cold water to the city connection of the RV. If I'm opening the hot water, I'm going to get hot water coming in. Now it's going to take a minute for them to come all the way from the house. They have to come around. So it takes about a minute to get hot water. But as soon as the hot water makes it here, I'm going to have basically 80 gallons of hot water coming directly from the house. I don't have to run the propane, and I don't have to be limited to 6 gallon hot water, and I don't have to wait for somebody who finished the 6 gallon, wait like 15-20 minutes for the water to get hot again, just so I can get another 6 gallon. So with this connection I got hot water just like in the house. So there you go, about a minute or two later, once the hot water reaches here all the way from the house to the RV through the pipe, I got pretty much boiling water, and I'm going to have 80 gallons just like in the house. I don't have to run the propane, I don't have to be taking military showers, and if I go cold water, I'm getting cold water from the regular city connection. Perfect, just like a house faucet would be. Perfect solution. Now the question would be, if I do want to travel with the RV, I want to come hook it up to my pickup and just go somewhere, how difficult is it going to be to disconnect? Well, it's going to be really simple. Only thing I need to do, here behind the washing machine, I'm going to have to close this side of the splitter so I don't have any more hot water coming into the RV. I'm going to have to go to the low point under the RV, unscrew the PEX line that I connected and put back the cap. Then I'm going to have to go under the bed where the hot water heater is and open that valve that disconnects the blue water and hot water systems. Altogether, no more than 5 minutes. And that's my solution. Now, this channel is not monetized, so I'm not asking you guys to subscribe or anything. I'm not making any money of this. I was just figure I can help somebody out. But if you have any questions or comments, if you feel this was helpful, please put a comment so I'll know. And if you have any questions, just put them in the comments. I'll be happy to.